The night was heavy with secrets as the crescent moon hung low in the sky, its pale glow casting eerie shadows on the deserted streets of Crescent City. It was here, in the underbelly of a metropolis teetering on the brink of chaos, that dark coin emerged, not merely as a currency, but as a revolution wrapped in the cloak of mystery. Elena Santoro was not the kind of person who believed in fairy tales, but the moment she stumbled upon dark coin, something shifted. She was a coder by trade, a digital architect navigating the labyrinthine systems of blockchain technology, but this was different. Dark coin, with its asset ID 188777140 and a logo that resembled the moon's shadow, promised the unthinkable: anonymity, independence, a chance to reclaim agency from their ever-watchful surveillance state. One fateful night, as she sat in her cramped apartment adorned with wires and computer screens, she remembered the words of her mentor, Jasper. "You want to disrupt the system? Find the flaw. It's always there, hiding in plain sight." With her heart pounding louder than the hum of her laptop, she dove deep into the code of dark coin. As Elena explored the depths of this new currency, she quickly realized that it wasn't just another digital asset, it was a movement. Whispers of its creation filtered through the underground, tales of a rogue developer who had vanished into the shadows, leaving behind a legacy as enigmatic as the coin itself. The more she learned, the more her fingers itched to be part of it. She had to find the architect. She had to understand its true potential. Days turned into weeks as she connected with underground forums and clandestine chats, her screen illuminating the darkened room like a beacon of hope. The more she engaged, the more she was drawn into a world of anarchists and dreamers, each one eager to dismantle the shackles of traditional finance. The community, though small, thrived on trust and shared purpose. They called themselves the Children of the Crescent. Elena found herself in a dingy bar called the Moonlight Lounge, a gathering spot for the coin's loyalists. The scent of whiskey and sweat hung in the air as she scanned the room, searching for the figure that would crack the code of this cryptic currency. It was then she spotted him, a wiry man with a glint in his eye, known only as Flint. "Looking for something?" he asked, his voice barely above a whisper, as if he was afraid the walls themselves were listening. "Flint?" she ventured, trying to mask her nervousness. "I need to know who created Dark Coin. I want in." He appraised her, a smirk creeping up his face. "You're not afraid of the dark, are you?" "Not the dark, just the light that flashes when you stumble into it." Her hands trembled with excitement. She had no idea what lay ahead. For hours, they talked in hushed tones about cryptography, algorithms, and the very essence of freedom that Dark Coin promised. Flint leaned in, his voice dropping to a conspiratorial whisper. "The coin's creator, he's a ghost. But if you really want to connect with him, you'll have to prove you're not just another dreamer." Elena's heart raced. How? Retrieve the Ledger of Shadows. It's hidden in the vault of the city's oldest bank, a relic from another era. Crack its code and you'll unlock the secrets of Dark Coin. With a plan taking shape, Elena enlisted the help of two allies she met through the Children of the Crescent: Marcus, a master lockpicker with an affinity for classical music, and Zara, a tech genius with a sharp tongue and a penchant for explosives. Together, they formed an unlikely trio, bound by the promise of a brighter future. The night of the heist felt like a scene from a heist film. Dressed in black, they crept into the bank's foreboding edifice, the marble floors echoing their every step. Marcus worked his magic on the vault door, while Zara kept watch, her eyes darting nervously as the seconds ticked away. "Almost there?" Marcus muttered between gritted teeth, his fingers dancing over the lock's mechanism. The door creaked open, revealing a treasure trove of forgotten documents and dusty old ledgers. Elena's breath hitched as she spotted the Ledger of Shadows, its cover worn and faded but still emanating an air of mystique. She reached for it, her fingers tingling with anticipation. Suddenly, alarms blared, piercing the silence like a knife. "Time to go," Zara shouted, her voice urgent. As they bolted from the vault, chaos erupted around them. Security guards flooded the halls, and they darted through the shadows, weaving between scattered beams of light. Elena clutched the ledger to her chest, adrenaline coursing through her veins. Outside, they scrambled to a waiting motorcycle, the roar of the engine drowning out their racing hearts. What now? Marcus gasped, glancing over his shoulder. Elena smirked, a wild gleam in her eye as she thumbed through the ledger. Now, we unleash the secrets of dark coin. Back in the safety of her apartment, they pored over the ledger, deciphering its codes and hidden messages. The more they uncovered, the more enthralled they became. It was a blueprint for a future where money could be decentralized, untethered from the grasp of the elite. But as they dug deeper, a chilling realization dawned on them. The ledger also contained the identities of those who had used dark coin for less than noble purposes. "We can't release this," Zara said, her voice trembling. "It could destroy lives." Elena hesitated, the weight of the decision heavy on her shoulders. The promise of change was intoxicating, but at what cost? "We have to find a way to expose the truth without destroying everything we've built." "What if we create a filter? A system that identifies bad actors while preserving the anonymity of honest users?" Flint's voice echoed in her mind. After days of sleepless nights and heated debates, they finally crafted a solution, an algorithm that would protect the coin's integrity while allowing it to be a force for good. They called it the Guardian Protocol. When they finally launched the new system, excitement rippled through the children of the Crescent. Dark coin began to flourish, a symbol of rebellion and hope. Elena watched as people from all walks of life embraced the currency, using it to fuel their dreams and resist oppression. But with success came scrutiny. The authorities were not pleased. One fateful evening, while celebrating their hard-earned victory, their sanctuary was raided. Officers stormed in, guns drawn, eyes scanning for the faces behind the revolution. Elena's heart sank. "They found us," she whispered, the gravity of her situation crashing down. Flint stepped forward, his resolve unwavering. "We knew this risk. We'll use the Guardian Protocol to expose their corruption. It's the key to survive this." As chaos erupted around them, they activated the protocol, sending encrypted messages into the ether, securing their identities while exposing the dark dealings of those in power. The world watched as the authorities crumbled under the weight of their own greed. In the aftermath, as the sun began to rise and the shadows receded, Elena stood on the steps of the old bank, the crescent moon still evident in the cloudless sky. It wasn't just a coin anymore. It had become a movement, a symbol of the people reclaiming their power. "Dark coin," she murmured, a smile creeping onto her lips. "The people's coin indeed." And as she gazed at the horizon, she knew that the journey was just beginning.